Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Welcome back to another video in Spanish Essentials. Today we are focusing on one of the most common used functional language chunks in the Spanish language, and that is how to express your wants. Repeat after me. Yo quiero. Yo quiero. Yo quiero means I want, and you can use this with nouns and verbs, and that's what we're going to look at today. So first, some nouns. Yo quiero tacos. Yo quiero tacos. What about yo quiero más tarea? Yo quiero más tarea. I want more homework. And now a curiosity of Spanish and a lot of other Indo-European languages is that it is not required, in many cases, to use the subject pronoun when speaking. What that means is we can just get rid of this I and just have want, more homework, and we get something like quiero más tarea. The reason this is possible is because the end of this word, quiero, tells the speaker and listener that it is I who is doing the wanting. This O at the end of this word is called a conjugation. And there's no reason for you to know what that means now, but just know that in Spanish, verbs change just like they change in English, but in a more systematic way. If you are the type of person that when they hear verbs, they cringe and take shelter, then let me put your mind at rest. When you hear someone ask you, what's a verb? Maybe you're the type of person that looks the other way. And that's probably because you've been given a definition of a verb, which is that it's an action word. And while I agree in many ways with this definition, it can leave students a bit confused because there are other words that could potentially imply some inherent action and not be verbs. For example, the adverb slowly. Slowly tells you how some verb is being completed, whether it's being done quickly or slowly. It tells you in a way how a verb is being done. But there is a sense of action involved, and for that reason, let's just ditch this definition. I'm going to give you a very simple explanation, and if you follow this definition, you'll know if the word is a verb anytime. A verb is any word that can follow I, we, or she. Let's look at some examples. I go, we run, she drives. Now, it doesn't have to follow every single one of these three words, but if it follows at least one, then it is undoubtedly a verb. Let's do a quick test. Is it a verb? Swim. Well, yeah, I swim and we swim are perfectly valid statements. Now, when we say she swim, it doesn't sound like proper English. We might say she swims. But nevertheless, if it follows one of three or more of these three words, it is a verb. What about speaks? Now, I and we speaks sounds a bit as broken English, but she speaks makes it a verb. Am? Well, at least I am sounds right, and so it's a verb. What about the word chimpanzee? No, that's not a verb. I chimpanzee, we chimpanzee, and she chimpanzee does not make any sense. But if you by chance are chimpanzeeing, I recommend you speak to your counselor. So let's talk about verbs. In Spanish, if we don't have a subject or a person attached to the verb, like I, we, or she, we call this verb infinitive. It means that it is in its untampered with state, or simply it means to followed by the verb. So comer means to eat. Cantar means to sing. Escribir means to write. And every verb in the Spanish language in their infinitive form is going to end in er, ar, or ir. And what the er, ar, and ir mean, although at the end of the verb it means to eat, to sing, to write. So anytime you see er, ar, or ir on the end of a verb, it is in its infinitive form, and it means to do that verb. Now this is particularly interesting because we can use the infinitives of these verbs to create sentences describing our wants. Like, yo quiero comer, I want to eat. Notice we don't have a word between quiero and comer meaning to. And the reason for that is because that to is included in the er ending. Yo quiero cantar, I want to sing. Yo quiero escribir, I want to write. So this is just an introduction into the idea of verbs, and the most important piece of information you should pull out of this video is that you can identify a verb by putting it against the I, we, she test. Can it follow either I, we, she, or any combination of the three and make sense? If so, you've got yourself a verb.